Peter Jackson and his creative wizards that brought us the Lord of the Rings trilogy make a return to Middle-earth with another adaptation of a J.R.R. Tolkien classic tale. Hello there to everyone watching, and thank you once again for giving your attention to both RealScreenReviews.com and WeLiveFilm.com. I am movie critic Nick Yacobucci, and our next movie review is one of the most highly anticipated films in about a decade, The Hobbit. This adaptation of the drama and fantasy of Middle-earth opened on regular Earth on Friday, December 14th, 2012, and it stars Sir Ian McKellen, Martin Freeman, Richard Armitage, Cate Blanchett, and a slew of many other actors. This new trilogy comes to us from the same director that brought us the three-part series a decade ago. Peter Jackson also returns to the series that earned him 10 Academy Awards, including Best Director and Best Picture, but will he find box office gold and glory once again? This tale is a prequel to the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and the events that happened in this story occur prior to what has already been told to us 10 years ago. In this story, we see central character Bilbo Baggins, and not Frodo Baggins, on a grand and hazardous adventure with the magnificent Gandalf the Grey. Bilbo will literally be taken right out of his own home, and with the escort of 13 dwarves, will turn his boring little life into the adventure of a lifetime. Well, people, all I can say is that when it comes to Middle-earth, Peter Jackson doesn't seem to have lost one beat in over 10 years. Now, mine and most others' first problem with The Hobbit was how are they going to turn this one small novel into 3 epic films? I mean, in the last trilogy, each film had its own book, but here, it's definitely going to be a stretch to get to 3 films this time around. Am I not right? Well, my answer is, unfortunately, I think so. This film didn't clip right along, but felt very bland, very blah, and very dull, especially at the beginning of it. The Hobbit is a lavish and satisfying film, but it is only in visual quality, because sometimes the story got lost among the set design and the special effects. Jackson has also proven himself to be the true wizard or magician when it comes to the realm of fantasy films. He has crafted this Hobbit film at 48 frames per second, or 2 times the industry standard, and makes the feature ridiculously crystal clear when viewing it. I actually thought this hurt the film just a little bit, and I'll tell you why. This movie is so clear that sometimes you could tell that you are looking at a movie or a fake set. There were other times when I could see imperfections in the actors' makeup and prosthetics, and this was because of the clarity of the image. This story of dwarves invading the life of a hobbit and flipping it on its end is much lighter than the 3 previous features, and the light tone is also very welcomed. The Hobbit is also much funnier, and even with this new slice of humor, this film never loses the sight of the world that was created a dozen years ago. Also connecting the dots are small roles for Elijah Wood's Frodo and Andy Serkis's Gollum. Sir Ian McKellen is also back to reprise his role as the mystical wizard of Gandalf. He created a legendary role in Gandalf the Grey, and revisiting that role seems to have not been too very difficult for the man. I am also so relieved that so many people returned to breathe the same life into this project that they did a decade ago. Now, even though there are many things that stayed the same, there are many things that are new, and the most important one would be Bilbo. Martin Freeman not only portrays Bilbo Baggins, he actually embodies the creature, and his warm persona and kind spirit is a hook right from the start. There are also 13 dwarves that bring to life more personality, attitude, and fun than you might expect, and that's even if their introduction undoubtedly lengthened the feature. For me, though, I must tip my hat to Richard Armitage as Thorin Oakenshield. He is not a very big fan of Bilbo and does nothing to hide that throughout the feature, and in addition to this, he also sets out on this journey with revenge in his heart. This was always one of my favorite literary characters, and Armitage's rendition of it was a spot-on bullseye, in my humble opinion. The Hobbit is visually breathtaking and artfully stunning, and credit director of photography Andrew Lesnie for once again bringing his amazing talent for lensing a feature film. He took home the Oscar for 2001's The Fellowship of the Ring, and once again brings the same remarkable ability to Middle-earth. The art and set direction was standout, as well as the costumes, and the music from Howard Shore was very much the soul of the movie once again. His notes of music add the light heart, the cheerful tone, and is sure to put you in a very good mood. Now, the biggest problem that The Hobbit suffers from is a running time that is much too long altogether, and also too long in certain spots throughout the film. The film just needed a swift kick in the butt near the beginning of the film, and at least Jackson delivered in the film's 3rd act. When I watched The Return of the King, I chuckled chuckle because that movie has about 10 endings. Well, The Hobbit fails in one aspect by having about 10 beginnings. It wastes a lot of time because it has to introduce everything, and in this respect, the many characters worked against this film. At 2 hours and 45 minutes, The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey was solid entertainment. The pacing of this film was completely off, with the movie feeling much longer than 3 hours, and the first 45 to 50 minutes were ungodly long. The biggest problem this film is going to face is the comparison of the original Lord of the Rings trilogy, and when you put this up against those films, it just wasn't as good. Nick's real screen review is not a river of praise, but still a solid recommendation of 3 stars out of 4, and that's for Peter Jackson's return to the world of J.R.R. Tolkien with The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey. Well, that's all of time I have for today. If you've enjoyed this review, please click like and give me a thumbs up, or subscribe to either or both We Live Film or Real Screen Reviews if you haven't yet already. I'm sure that I'll be returning soon enough with more movie and trailer reviews, and until then, remember people that I'm not always right, but only when it comes to the movies, and thank you for your attention.